Welcome to Splunk Talk. Splunk podcast. That's all Splunk and no junk. I'm your host, Burch, here with co-host
Hal. Did I say it right that time?
Yes, you said it right that time. Yeah. This is episode 26 of season 2. And soon we'll be joined by today's guest, Jenna Eagle, who will talk to us about how she puts the fun into IT as an IT Ops Strategist. But before we go any further, let's check in and see how everyone's month has been. I'm going to randomly pick amongst the other attendees. And Hal, I've picked you to go first.
Okay, this is exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is exciting.
Okay. Well, do you need another moment? I'll give the other attendee time.
No, I mean, I'm looking around.
Okay, let's check in with the other attendee.
Okay.
Bizarro World, Hal.
All right, no, I'm good.
Good.
Bizarro World.
Hal, that would be IBM. Your name would be IBM.
Yep. But I am one better. So there.
You are.
Speaking of Bizarro, did you watch Justice League, the new Snyder cut? Are you into hero movies and all that?
I want to, but I'm afraid of the commitment. Although I have heard that
4 hours.
Yeah, I have heard that there's some organic places to stop. I've heard it's better. I mean, I don't know. That movie, I had really high hopes. I was very excited, and then I was like, boy, it felt like they tried to do a lot in not a lot of time. And so I imagine the new one's better, but I feel like I heard like it's better, but like it's not like drop everything and watch it. Have you seen it?
No, I have not. So I'm kind of in the same exact position you are. I've got a couple friends that have watched it.
Awesome. Let's talk about a movie neither of us have seen.
That's exciting. Let's see. Oh, we're watching Lost. I don't know if have you heard of Lost?
Yes, back in the year 2000, I did.
Okay, no spoilers. I'm on episode 3.
Okay. I think the statute of limitations on spoilers for Lost is far past. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but they may not know where they are.
Okay, they're on an island. That's what I think I know so far.
Some would say they're lost.
Yeah. Okay.
I did watch the first like 5 minutes. I was in a phase where I was like, I want to wait until shows are done. And then watch them without the hindrance of wait till next week when we find out what happens to our heroes.
Yeah.
So I did that with Breaking Bad, where I waited till it was done and then watched them all. I tried doing that with Lost. I got like 5 minutes in. And you want to guess why I stopped?
I do want to guess why you stopped.
You do want to guess.
There was an earthquake.
That's a good guess. There was an earthquake of emotion.
Oh,
I got scared. I just found it to be too scary. Yeah. I'm not.
I mean, we're going there. That's why I'm not going to do Breaking Bad. It's like that's too real for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can handle Lost. I can,
Really?
If
you can handle, I think
crash planes all day long. I just,
Okay, everyone, hit us up on Twitter and encourage Hal and agree with me, regardless of if you agree or not, that Lost is more terrifying and more of a thriller than Breaking Bad.
Well, see, if you do this, then people are going to send me spoilers. Don't send me spoilers.
Don't send spoilers.
Okay, I'm actually literally watching it.
He's literally watching it.
Yeah. So, let's see. Other things I'm doing though. Technology-wise, I am doing. I'm trying to basically get my lab together, my home lab environment, and that includes the. I've got 3D printers. I actually have 3 now, which is crazy.
Do you have any show and tell for us?
Yes. So I had this part I was printing.
The blur is making it seem like it's inappropriate on the video feed.
So I have this guy. This is a
Oculus
Quest 2 headset, which is really cool. We'll talk about that another time. And I needed somewhere to store it, so I have a stand, and I'm printing a stand for it.
Oh, that's cool.
And
it is really funny because you have the zoom blurring thing on.
Yeah.
And I guess the way it works is it identifies your face and like blurs everything else.
Well, I think if I hold it like right on my face,
it works.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, if anyone wants a good laugh, check out the video because it makes the thing you created look like we're not allowed to show it on TV and it has to be blurred out.
So wait, if I put my finger,
where
can I
hand's
put my
fine.
hand? Wow, that thing's smart. It must be looking at skin tone.
I'm a learning computer.
For the people listening, I was about to shoot a bird at Burch, and it didn't blur it out. So that was
it would not blur your bird to Burch.
Anyway.
Blur your bird to Burch.
But getting back to the data thing, is what I'm doing is, so there are ways to get a lot of data from 3D printers.
Ooh.
And the current method that I'm looking at is a protocol called MQTT, which is used to, it's kind of like a lightweight IoT based protocol for sending messages.
Okay.
Even though it has MQ in it, it would make you think, oh, this is a message queue. It actually isn't. And there's history on the protocol if you want to read up on it.
Yeah, I thought it stood for like message queue tippity top.
Yep. It's one of those things where the acronym used to mean something, and now the name of the product or in the protocol is actually MQTT without any, it's not an acronym.
Did that almost like happen to PHP? Didn't it? It was like hypertext protocol, preprocessor, but then it became recursive. They like renamed it to like PHP hypertext protocol or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
the thing that you printed, is I'm taking data from the printers. The printers have a microcontroller on them, has all data like instructions on you to move to this coordinate, and extrude this much and this temperature, a bunch of sensors, and I have a single board computer. I've got Raspberry Pis in this case connected to each of my printers. They're running some software called Octoprint. Octoprint is like a management server layer here, and API and plugins and all that good stuff. Well, one of the things it can do is send everything out with MQTT. So I'm playing with a variety of things to do with it. One of them is going to be bringing that to my Splunk home lab, but I have the syslog from the Raspberry Pis that's coming in already. But MQTT, it's kind of like a fire and forget, not like UDP, but it's kind of like persist there in the system and let people, it's pub subsystem. So let people subscribe to. So I have been playing with Node-RED, which is a kind of an IoT automation service, and using that to listen to MQTT, subscribe to topics, and then you can build dashboards with that. So I'm playing around with making dashboards that can highlight the state of my home lab.
Are you sending any of that to Splunk? Any of that data?
What I'm doing right now is thinking through what needs to be where and why. So I'm sending things to Splunk that are operational in nature.
Yeah.
So for example, if I log into the Raspberry Pi system, or if I log into Octoprint, the print server, that's operational. I would send that to Splunk. But the temperature of the sensors, I could send it to Splunk. I'm not right now. Right now, I'm only surfacing that in MQTT because of the way that PubSub works, that it seems like a good system for that. And I'm considering, okay, do I want to send all that to Splunk or not? I haven't really worked that part out yet.
Well, I have heard that all data is security data. So you should send it to Splunk in case you're worried about me hacking your 3D printer and sending you offensive messages through very slow print rendering.
Yeah.
Like if I sent you the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you going to break something off of?
I have to. I just did it while I was fiddling. It's gone. I'm sorry.
Oh, can I see it?
Camera. Yeah. So
can I see the part you broke off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it makes it so you can break. And now that you broke that off, we officially have some junk, most Splunk on this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. We have me. I'm about to let our guest in. That's what I'm up to.
Okay. Well, she can wait for a minute.
Oh,
I mean, she can't wait. No, I don't. I mean, is she like in the room? Like, seriously?
She's in the room where it happens. The room where it happens.
But people won't get to hear from you about what you've been up to.
Nothing interesting. Just new job.
All right, fine. I do want to. We got to come back and talk about that.
Yeah. We'll get there. All right. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Admit. She hath been admitted. I don't like that Zoom doesn't allow her audio and stuff to connect. But now we have Jenna.
Hello.
Hey, Jenna.
Hello.
I am here.
How are you?
Good. How are y'all?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Where are you based, Jenna?
I'm in DC.
That's cool.
DC or suburb of DC, but most people listening are.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't go to Virginia. I am DC. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So not even like AC/DC, just DC.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Hal. Yeah.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say I've not spent enough time in that part of the world. I've been to the Splunk office once. I've been to Conf was there. I was there. Let's see what else. I did the.
It's not far from you, Hal.
It's not super far.
Where
It's
are you, Hal?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh.
So it's kind of far.
Yeah, that's far enough. You want to just pop over to DC from Atlanta?
No, I mean it's a little bit. But anyway, I need to spend more time there. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Where are you, Burch?
I'm in the greater New York City area.
Oh, see, you're close to DC.
Hey, let's not point fingers. Cool. Well, Jenna, I'm really glad to have you on this podcast. I'm a fan.
Talk. I don't know if she knew that.
It's called Splunk Talk. It's called podcast. This is a Splunk Talk. And you are in a fortunate position where I know for our kickoff, you were doing a lot of sessions
and exciting.
Yes.
Fun and exciting sessions. Hal invited me to some, and I was like, "Who's this sharpshooter?"
Oh.
Yeah. Like, our next guest.
That's great. Yeah, I actually just wrapped up 30 minutes ago, right before joining this an event, the boss of operations and observability, a boo event for our global partner summit. So I just wrapped up like a 4-hour event there. Now I'm here.
Can we just unpack the acronym? Because it's
before we do that, I think everybody wants to hear a little bit about our guest.
Let's hear a little bit about our guest. Something we often do is we like to hear your origin story.
Okay.
I didn't pronounce that well enough. Your orange story.
Yeah. Is that a greater New York accent?
I don't know if greater
came from.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lesser. It's a lesser New York accent.
I think someone in politics who I shall not name had trouble saying the word origin and kept saying orange, and I really like it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Where did you come from before Splunk? Kind of what was your background?
So I came from Accenture before Splunk, and I was working on a really, really cool project at the Census Bureau. It's the decennial, and it was a lot of work. And I came
for people who are unfamiliar with civics and American history.
There you go.
What was that event, and how frequently does it happen?
So the decennial is every 20 years, I believe. No,
200. I don't know. You're the one that worked on it.
We do it every 10 years. We do it every 10 years. Okay.
No, but I thought it was the census is every 10 years, but the descent.
The descent.
Oh, okay.
It might be 20. It might be 10. I should know this, but I've been at Splunk for almost 3 years now, so my memory has drifted. But
I'd like to hear about the role of data in that project, that part.
So we were building a data lake, and that's when like data lake was a huge buzzword. And so we were doing the census data lake. And they were, so prior to this, the last time they had the decennial, they did not have like the online system where you could actually respond to the census online. So that was a brand new system they were putting in. And so everything was paper-based. And then they have the enumerators in the that actually go to your door and knock on your door to make sure that you have actually done this.
Jenna, I think we got a little video compromise there. So just
we're good
if you have those massive podcasts uploading right now, they could be the culprit.
Gotcha.
How did you end up there like preceding Accenture, which by the way, I love that we have such a strong relationship with Accenture, because I find it amusing that we have the same logo.
I know.
Who had it
I always
first?
forget that the
Yeah.
this
It doesn't
the
matter.
sideways peace sign.
It's technically called a redirect,
Mm.
according to branding. Hal, I'm not sure it matters who had it first as much as who wore it better.
I think we wear it better.
Does
I
that
think we wore
go?
it best.
Yeah. Does that go into our story about Splunk and redirects? What does brand have to say about why the redirect symbol?
I don't know
Probably
if there's
related to basically taking data and sending it somewhere and sending that
Got
from
it.
the logs, that they were only in before, send that to Splunk. That's probably what I would say.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I'm just
see that.
picturing a conversation where people were like, we don't really want to say we're greater than everything.
Yeah, that's
But like, does it imply if it says like Splunk, redirect, enterprise, or like it's like, oh,
Good.
Splunk is greater
Yeah.
than it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
redirect. Although
Anyway.
our pipe is kind of a redirect, but that's neither here nor there. How did you end up at Accenture?
At Accenture. So prior to Accenture, I was at small businesses. I was a small business girl, loved small businesses. And then eventually I decided that I no longer wanted to do the small business.
You really swung the other way on the pendulum
It's
there.
ready for big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, it'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the struggling small businesses, but I was ready to go the completely opposite way and try
Accenture,
out
they don't do small business. They're the opposite.
Yeah, no small business at all there. So yeah.
Did you study or do academics focus specifically on switching from small businesses to massive ones?
Perhaps.
No. This is an interesting one. So my degree is in psychology.
That is.
Are you about to go psych? Okay.
That would have been good.
Yeah. I've like that's something I've always really enjoyed. Like, I know when I first came out of school and I went to work in infrastructure, and the guy with the cubicle next to me, my senior and everything, we were talking about stuff and he's like, oh yeah, I'm an English major.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the diversity of thought that can lead to a very rich outcomes for your team. So
yes, exactly. And I started in psychology, and then that's another thing that I was like, you know what? I want to have an easier job. So I went into tech.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard that particular angle, but I mean, I think most people, I feel like they go into tech because of the challenges, and especially relate to kind of learning in a fast-paced environment.
Yeah. I mean, it was a route where there was more job security for sure. So if anybody wants some good job security and don't no longer want to go the psychologist route, that was a big one. And then also, I mean, I was working with kids with autism, and it was hard. It was
emotionally hard too.
Emotionally difficult, draining. And so I started taking some certifications and classes and just going that route.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's flash forward a bit. You're at Splunk. You've been here for 3 years. What is your role, and what have you been doing here at Splunk? And then we'll get into kind of some of the.
Whenever you say it like that, I think of Arnold. Like, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Really? Do you?
Yeah, but you're like,
Okay.
who are you and where what do you do here? And
I can't do an Austrian accent though.
Well, I mean, neither can Arnold. By the way, I gotta say, after all the ridiculous things I've said, I think that silence, that pregnant pause, was one of the best we've ever had.
Right, well done. Okay. Now, if we can not, talk about Burch for 3 seconds.
Well, see, he does have the greater than sign next to his name always. So
so we should
dealing with Burch.
Redirect the conversation back to you, our guest.
There you go. Yeah, so now so when I started at Splunk, I was a solutions engineer, and I got on one of the coolest accounts to ever be on, and that is NASA. So yeah, so I got to do some really cool stuff, work with some extremely smart folks. And
question, and I'm going to word this very carefully. Are there any, I don't know if they've spoken publicly,
aliens?
Are there any stories you can share about what they do?
So, I mean, there's a lot of, so it was on the, they had both, use cases for IT and security, but the ones that I was working mostly with were the security folks, especially at some of the other organizations within NASA. And I mean, it's a real thing to like require security for that intelligence.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So
how long were you? And that's all I can say about it.
Yeah. How long were you a solution engineer?
I was a solutions engineer for about 2.5 years, and now I'm in a new role as a strategist.
So that's, I think, when I heard of your name for the first time. So
yes.
What is a strategist? I think you're the first one on the podcast. I don't think we've had one. Have we, Burch? I don't think
we have not included them as part of our strategy until
now. There you go.
All right, that's changing now. Yeah.
So the strategists are really, really, really cool organization. We get to do a lot of the fun stuff. We get to create content. We are huge content creators. So we get to help build things for the SEs to use. So things like the demos and decks, presentations. We get to enable SEs and give them the stuff that they need in order to go out to our customers. And then we also get to build stuff directly for the customers. So we get to do workshops. We get to do the Boo event, which is another one.
Define for us.
Yeah, and we get to just make Splunk digestible.
Great again.
For
yeah, we were going to say. I'm sorry.
That's what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
No filter. So, of the things you do, let's not talk about so much about the ones that are internal facing. I think the most interesting for our guests are going to be the things
absolutely
touch.
Yeah.
And many people probably have heard about bots and bots of the SOC, maybe bots of the knock, but I know there's been a lot of changes lately. And why don't you kind of talk about, what are these workshops for and where would people see them? And then we'll get into some details about.
For sure.
So you're doing, according to the workshops, who is your daddy? What does he do?
Thank you.
Just did.
Thank you, Burch.
That's what I hear in my head when you ask those two questions together.
People compliment me on my questions. Okay. So
people tell me.
Can you do an Austrian accent?
No.
When
no. Dang. People compliment you on your questions. People go, "Oh yeah, you're on the podcast too." Oh yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're there. Yeah. So, Hal's questions. Answers, please.
I'm just gonna
redirect back to Hal.
Yeah.
So so bots, yes. So boss of the SOC, it is that capture the flag-esque game, where it's like a blue team capture the flag thing. And so security people out there will get that. But the boss of the knock was our like the sister competition. Is that the right sister competition to boss of the SOC? And we recently rebranded Baden, or boss of the knock, to boss of operations and observability, with the very cute acronym BOO.
I kind of wish the A was in there for Anne, so it's like boo. No,
that's horrible. That's a
so
horrible idea.
I want to unpack a little bit about this activity, because while I worked on some of the original Boss of the Knocks, I'm going to pretend I have no idea what you're talking about.
Perfect.
So when I hear capture the flag, from someone implying that it's being done on Splunk, I'm literally figuring I'm in a conference room running around, like
trying to capture a flag off of someone's waist.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think we should do that the next time we have in-person events.
Yeah,
that should be the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. But instead of trying to take a flag from their waist, you have to lick your hand and slap them. Just real germ exposure.
Yeah.
But like, what do you mean when you say capture the flag, and the implication being it's in Splunk?
Sure. So it is a competitive game. And so everyone, the way that like the point, so you get points for answering questions. So
it's all in Splunk, right?
In Splunk. So all of this data is in Splunk. And then we have this separate, super cool and super new scoring server that our friends on the bot side have been working on and building this brainchild into this super cool scoring server that has everything on it. So you have your scoring server and you have your Splunk gaming server. And the scoring server is asking you those questions, and you have to go dig and find and explore stuff in the Splunk gaming server and answer that in the scoring server. And the faster you answer, the more points you get. It's competitive. We have leaderboards, scores, all of that.
So I'm picturing, which is easy to do because I've attended and seen it many times. Like picture, you got a big conference room. I mean, big.
Mm-hmm.
And people, most of which came from some, team at work, or they know each other in advance.
Yes.
And they're sitting there, and as a group, they're all able to basically use this gaming server, scoring server, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
where it's telling you these scenarios, right? So you get like fully immersed in, you just got an email from your boss. So, they said X, Y, and Z, right?
So let's have her. I mean, she just tell us what some of the scenarios are actually.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So that's the other thing. Like, this is supposed to mimic like real life stuff. So you could go into an episode and you just had an alert fire about we'll say SAP, your service there's an alert firing saying that their KPIs in a critical state right now, which then is impacting all of these other things. Go figure out what's happening. So it's real time as well. So all of the data in there will be real time data. And then we have this thing called lightning rounds, which is where you get interrupted in the middle of you going through and like going about your day, going through all these different episodes. A lightning round, we pull you out of whatever you're doing and we say, hey, listen up. This is going to be available for like 45 minutes. Go, 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 go. And so everybody races and tries to get through that episode within the like 45 minutes or 30 minutes or however long it is.
So how do you submit an answer, or like I'm going through a scenario, like what's the output of that? I'm picturing like, do I put something into a gaming server, or like how does that work?
Yep. So a question is going to be in the scoring server, and you're going to have
like two tabs open kind of thing, or two windows open usually.
Yeah. So okay. You're going to have exactly, if you have more than one screen, you're definitely going to use that.
Tabbing it. Yep.
Two tabbing it. Yeah. And so you're going to have your scoring server, and it's going to say, what was like the first KPI to go critical. And then you have to go into the gaming server, figure that out, grab the name of that KPI, and submit your answer in the scoring server.
Oh, so what is the range of Splunk products that you're using during this process?
Oh, yeah. So we have within the IT and within Boss of Ops and Observability, we have Splunk Core, we have Splunk Infrastructure Monitoring, ITSI. We also hit on Phantom. So we have a Splunk for Phantom episode. And then we also have Splunk APM. So we have our entire like observability and IT suite in here that customers can get their hands on, all within this one event.
And just to close out the loop on the scoring thing, so to kind of prove that you found, because like you can't, it's not like, oh, I can go into the system like SAP and fix the problem, which you would normally, right? So to prove that you found like the right answer, you submit some like particular detail evident of finding the right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And that gets really tough because we create these episodes ourselves. So we create the data, the questions, the entire like thought process of it. And we have an incredible team outside of the strategist that helps us with all this because it is so much work. But coming up with questions and answers is tough. It is very, very tough. And then we give each other feedback and everything, but I mean, the way that your mind is working and you're so close to that episode and you really figure out that it is very hard to write question and answers for every single episode and have it make sense and find that point where it's like not too hard, but it's not too easy. And it just makes this logical flow.
So how many people are going to be typically participating in one of these, and what's been the largest?
Yep. So Conf is usually our largest, and we had 1,000 people registered at this past Conf. Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
then
it was done virtually.
It was done. It was done virtually. And then we just now, the one that I just had we had about 80 participants in that one. But
80
typically
sounds very intimate. Was that like for a specific like group?
It was intimate. Yes, it was
very intimate. Welcome to Abu.
Yeah.
I think Abu is the name of the monkey from Aladdin.
Anyway,
correct.
Yeah. Abu.
Abu.
Yeah.
Abu.
It was intimate. It was our partner summit. So we had all of our partners that, we get to see them. We saw some of them at Conf and they did it, but we see these folks over and over again as well. So that's good. And then
No, go ahead.
And then some other ones, if folks are getting like, we started doing smaller or less frequent events. And so they have to be at a larger scale because of, it does take a lot to put one of these on. So, we aren't going to be doing them as often for teams. Like we used to say like 10 teams or 10 teams or something has to be done, but they're going to be larger events going forward.
So it requires some coordination and commitment of resources. That makes sense.
Right. So we'll have like regional events and those will typically be like at least 100 participants.
Gotcha.
So if I'm a customer and I'm like, wow, this sounds really cool, I like it would be better for that customer, I'm hearing, to like attend this larger regional event.
Right.
It's not really something you do just for
right.
Like,
so
hey, there's 5 of us.
Maybe we should talk about the kind of the downstream, because I know there are other things, other workshops, for example, some open source data sets. So can you kind of talk about other things people could do in this space?
Right. So that's a great point. So we have these larger events and we'll have a calendar that comes out and we'll tell customers to join those events, get their team together. I forgot to mention that too. This is like a team bonding thing. You can have a team up to 4 people. You have to be on a team. So you could do a team of 1, but it's going to be a lot better if you actually fill out your team. And so you get your team together and then you join these larger events. But on the other hand, you can talk to your like account team or shoot over like your SE something and get a workshop. So we have plenty of workshops that cover all of these products as well.
Not to put you on the spot, but are there any that come to mind as far as those other workshops?
Yeah, so we have a business.
Not to put you on their spot. This is all putting you on the spot.
Yeah, this is we have a couple new ones that actually just came out that we are really trying to get the SCs and the account reps and stuff to push to our customers. So this is a great way to do that.
And these are free, right? This is not something you have to pay for. It's just
this is all learning. Yeah, this is all free. It's kind of that step and that sweet spot between like not having anything, and then there's EDU and PS, like Splunk PS, Splunk Education, and then but then we can create these small free workshops that get the end user really acclimated to the product. And so that's what the focus is on the end users, on the analysts, the engineers, folks like that. And we have a business service insights one that just came out, and that is all about just service insights within ITSI. And then we also have the infrastructure monitoring and troubleshooting one, which utilizes a lot of the Splunk infrastructure monitoring, and then the integration with Splunk Core.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I know on the boss of the SOC side, they have like data sets that are like on GitHub. Are there similar things that you're touching or not?
So the difficult thing with ours is we don't give out the data set because we do so much like time traveling. So our data sets, you can't really just like upload and like put in. It's we have this time travel that's done to all of them to make them all like line up at a certain time. And yeah.
So you're using a data gen of some kind, automation, in order to put the data into the stream whenever you need it to?
Well, so we have some new architecture around it, and I'm not going to be able to speak as well about it as the person who actually created it, but we have everything living in AWS right now, and then all of the separate episodes have their own indexes, and then we pull those out, and then each one has a like a magic offset, and then that's how we kind of time travel everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Neat. So where do you go from here? I mean, you've got this set of really cool workshops kind of culminating in Boo. Are there other things that are on the horizon, or other types of projects that your team is working on?
So the boss platform, which is boo.splunk.com or bots.splunk.com, which are that's what everybody's using as the scoring server now. That is our like boss platform, and that's where we're going to have a lot of on-demand stuff going. So customers can just go to boo.splunk.com or bots and have on-demand stuff. And this was the bots team is working very closely with the Boo team, the Keep Boo team, because they have created this brainchild of on-demand services for customers to be able to go do like a bots on their own, like a mini scenario and workshops and like some like Harbor Cruise demos, different things like that. So we're working with them to get some stuff on Boo as well.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there, Burch? Okay.
My mind's blown, so I'm putting a little water on it.
All right.
So, you know, I'm a skeptic at heart, and we had touched a couple minutes ago about like, wait, so this is free? And what I heard is like, yeah, because, and correct me if I'm hearing you right or wrong, like, yeah, Splunk actually is willing to make this investment and do this thing because like to be very like straightforward, it's like it improves our brand, it increases adoption, it kind of demonstrates the art of what's possible with our products. And
yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to get in trouble for saying any of this.
Well, I mean, art of the possible, you kind of got it. I mean, that's where I think that what you guys do, there's a lot of creativity involved.
Right.
And I don't know if people realize that there's creativity involved in this job.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would, you know, nothing is like truly altruistic, right? Like we're doing this because like we believe as an organization in our products and what can be done with our products based on all the customers that have done such amazing things. And so we really enjoy the opportunity to get in front of customers and show some of that stuff.
Yeah. And also like, we can't forget about the folks out there who aren't current customers, who don't have access to this stuff. And they just want to know what the heck Splunk even is and how they would like, why they would even use Splunk for IT and,
I'm an
stuff
engineer
like
at my company. We have Splunk. I don't use it today. Why would I want to? That kind of thing.
Yeah. And so you should be able to go and we don't have, a lot of like the sandbox stuff and a lot of all of this like pre-configured things for people to just play around with. So this is a way, having this on-demand service is a way to get people just, what is Splunk? What's the power of Splunk? Why would I use it for IT? Why would I use it for security? And be able to just go and check it out in a pre-configured, curated thing.
In case somebody is listening and is like wondering literally what is Splunk right now, you can go to splunk.com. There's a green button, top right, free Splunk,
Yes.
try now.
Yes.
And you will get a Splunk cloud instance, 7 days, something like that.
Yep.
You can go do that right now.
Yes.
That's just one of our several products. And it's basically kind of the tip of the iceberg. Is that fair?
I think
Whereas
so.
you're really taking it far into a certain direction.
Yeah.
That operations and observability is that direction.
Right. And the point is for it to be a curated, like cohesive story about by like the use case. So it's not so much for admins or anything like that. It's how the actual users and analysts and engineers would use Splunk to help with their issues in their IT environment.
So it's not as much about the Splunk administrator, although they would definitely be involved in terms of making this real.
Right.
But it's more around the person that's sending the data to Splunk and needs to get some value out of it.
Yep. It's the person that a lot of workshops or episodes are like, okay, you just down at your desk, opened up Splunk or opened up your email and you just got a message from your boss saying to go check this out.
Yep. So hair is on fire, you need to put the fire out and let's use Splunk. Then you get to kind of learn along the way, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to go in a slightly different direction.
Can I ask one question?
Okay, fine.
Before we get off of the boo, how has the pivot to remote work?
Why is Gamora?
Who is how is the pivot to remote work affected the approach on these things?
That's
and
good question.
Question number 2, which is not related, but I know Hal's going to take us elsewhere, so I'm thinking it in now. If I'm interested at home, where can I learn more about Boo and boss of the SOC, etc.?
Yeah. So the shift to remote, we felt the most at Conf for sure. It was trying to coordinate all of that. We're now using like Discord as a way to like talk to coaches.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Why don't you set the stage of Conf year before last, what that's like, and then answer that question.
Perfect.
It was a dark and stormy Tuesday night.
Yes.
No, we're at the Sands Conference Center.
Yeah. So that huge conference room that Burch was talking about, where you walk in and everybody just has their laptops and everybody's just like in these rows, sitting in a conference room or at these tables, and everybody looks like they're people. like hacking away at it. Yeah.
I'm doing the Foley artist part. I'm going to make the sound effects.
There you go. Perfect. And so that's like what it's like, because we're in Vegas too. So it's like very fun.
Glug.
Yes. And there's always the open bar. That's the other thing. So during these events in Vegas, we have open bar where it's fun. It's also longer. So we changed. So it's typically like, gosh, what is it again? It's like
we do
6,
it the first
7
evening. It's like,
Monday
or
night
something
before it starts.
Something, like that.
Yeah.
And then like ends at like 2 a.m. or something, 3 a.m., something crazy late. Yeah. So that's what it's usually like. And it's just this, like, it's loud, it's fun. There's a DJ, there's open bar, all of that. And so now for remote and for this past .conf, we had to make it all virtual. And so we didn't have open bar.
So we sent everyone a DJ.
I know. Yeah. Well, this was actually really cool. So our DJ, who's a Splunker at the last in-person one, we have this Discord channel, and that's how you communicate with the coaches and get help. Within our Discord channel, we're using Dinobot, I think, and it has a music channel.
Cool.
So you can join the music channel and he's still DJing.
Oh, who's the DJ? Who does that?
Huh?
Shout
Nick Macraglu. I'm so bad at saying his last name. He's gonna hate me.
Don't shout out then. Okay.
We call him Nick Mac.
There we go.
Nick Mac.
DJ
Nick Mac. Yeah.
I think he has a SoundCloud too. So shout out there.
Whatever. We've got a SoundCloud. No big deal. Very cool. Yeah. We
so Discord, I think that's the point here, is that Discord had to come, be used.
Discord was,
and you guys integrate with it. How? I mean, it's not just people in one big chat room, obviously. That wouldn't.
No, so you have to. So the way we have it's spread out. We have like our announcements channel, which is telling everybody like, okay, like another one of those events are firing that you have like 45 minutes to do, like pay attention. And another part is Twitch, that we are using Twitch now as well for live streaming of it. So we'll tell people to come over to Splunk Inc. Twitch. So we're using the Splunk Inc.'s Twitch channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if people go on, actually, they might be able to see a recording of what we just did with Global Partner Summit as well, and get like maybe a feel for what it's like. But and then within Discord, so we have a server and then a bunch of separate channels. So all of the separate channels like pertain to whatever episode you're on. And we have our coaches in each of those like rooms or channels helping with questions. And we also have, my favorite channel is Single Mingle. So that channel is for people who don't have a team or are looking for a team or a teammate and trying to like finish that out. We have Single Mingle, which I think is the cutest channel.
So to confirm,
I'm gonna go single mingle with a boo.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I just confirmed. So yeah, Twitch TV/Splunk Inc.
Yes.
And you will see videos there. And the one that's highlighted at the time of recording, go look for them. But Boo is right there on top. So you can see exactly what we're talking about and how this kind of pans out. So that's pretty neat.
Yep.
So so I guess the other call to action would probably be, if you're interested in this type of event, talk to your sales engineer as far as like workshops and learning opportunities. Anything else we want to send people to?
So talk to your sales engineer, and then you can also go to boo.splunk.com and make a login there, and you'll be able to see it. Might not show any events right now because we don't have any open ones coming up, but shortly our next one, I believe, will be May 11th around Splunk Live timeframe. So we'll have an open, that'll be our first fully open one of the year. It's not like a private event that people can just join.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Boo with 3 O's?
With 2
O's. Say, well, it's good to ask, right?
That is very good to ask. Boo with 2 O's.
Okay.
You don't like the word boo?
Yeah, but boss of
okay.
knock.
Yeah.
And it's the knock that was
that is good.
Technically it's 4. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we used to have an O. We dropped an O as part of it.
We did drop an O.
We did
because now it's just
when I go to the club,
it's cuter with 2 O's.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, Hal, I think you had a tangential question. I now cede my time to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, my brother from another mother in the greater New York area. Yes, I want to know, Jenna, what is it like? What have you learned from and applied, your psychology background to what you're doing today?
Interesting. Wow. I would say, so like I was saying, I worked with kids with autism, and we did like a behavior analysis, and I've learned a lot about positive reinforcement and using that to gear people's behavior a certain way.
You've used that to do what again? We had a glitch in the in the matrix?
So with positive reinforcement, the way to change someone's behavior the best is by doing positive reinforcement for the things that you want them to do. So
that's like when Hal doesn't laugh at my jokes because he wants me to stop doing that, but he does respond when I ask him questions.
There you go. That is exactly it. See, you could have a psych degree.
Yeah. Actually, I guess laughing and smiling that's probably smiling is one of the very first positive reinforcements that humans learn, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I feel like you were going somewhere with that about like positive reinforcement and how it relates to your role or the activities of your role.
I was thinking you probably learned about gamification, maybe not in your actual education, but now you are.
That's a good
tying it back together, right?
Yeah, that's
or are you just going to say like, oh, we learned that when people don't get the answer right, we should stop yelling at them and throwing
that too. Encourage them. No, but that's a really good point, because we would take a lot of, I guess, social skills and make them into a game and use that as a game. So if we were like teaching some kind of social skill, whether it's, simply like asking a question or like looking at someone in their eyes, anything like that, we would do it in a game. And so we would make it into a game in order to teach that skill.
So what if somebody is thinking, okay, this is just software that I use and I don't understand why you're making a game out of this? What would you say to that type of person?
I would say that this is honestly the best way for you to get the quick hands-on experience is by putting it in this gamified way. So we provide the configured environment for you. It's probably a Splunk admin asking why it's a game anyways, and we're not.
You make them sound like a real Grinch. Like, why is this a game?
Sorry to any Splunk admins out there. We do love you.
Well, I mean, one of our company values is fun. So we, as Splunkers, we wear that badge on the outside, but not everybody does. So
not everybody
understand the point, beyond just, oh, you guys are not being serious. Like, no, there's more to it than that.
Yeah, there is. And it's because we are providing you that pre-configured lab and the way for someone to learn in our world is by doing typically. And so you're put into a situation where you are learning. And then the gamified part of it is the competitive part, that fun part, the other aspects that we add to it. But it's really more of a hands-on, like learn by doing type of thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you went there, because that was exactly what I feel. And I was kind of want to understand if that's kind of one of the motivations that y'all have. Because definitely, my own background when I was learning to do this, sitting down, reading, watching something, reading a book, there's only so much you can do, and the retention is, this relatively speaking. So solve a problem.
And some folks, if they are existing customers, they may not have the exact data source that we're using it like currently ingested. And this kind of gives them that art of the possible and what they could be doing, so they can just understand a little bit more what Splunk could offer as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. All right, Burch, your turn.
Oh man, I was hoping you would pick the next kid. I'm not ready. I guess what like how you switched into this role, right? What? Boss of the Knock was already going on. Obviously, there's like an evolution to Boo. Have you been able to put your fingerprint on this?
Ooh. Trying. So I think did I lose you guys? Oh, there we go.
We're back. There we go.
All right.
No, I muted because I see Burch did something that was funny to me, and I was amused. I was drinking my drink. I did a spit take, and I was just going to say, "Hey guys, this was funny because I just spit." And I was going to, make fun of Birch at that moment. And then I actually did choke. I was like, okay, I should probably mute so that, people, but I unlocked.
Hal Roddenberry murdered by spit
famous last words.
Podcast.
At least it was on a podcast. So
at least we're having fun. We go out having fun.
There you go. And you put your stamp on it, but because this is also recorded. So
Jenna, the last we heard, I had asked, how have you been able to make it your own, if you will?
Yeah. So I think a big shift in this is also the fact that like we are able to do these virtual now. So I think we are reaching more people, and then having for me being responsible for like the presentation and the outreach and all of that is kind of helping me put my stamp on it as well. I own a lot of the episodes that we put through. So if when people don't like the question that I came up with and I have to explain to them why, then that's another thing. But it's really there's been a lot of changes since going virtual that I think I've just been really, really involved in as well. And then designing how to communicate with folks on Discord, and having that boss platform as well.
What about go ahead, Hal.
I was just going to go a little bit different. I wanted to know, like, what are your favorite technologies that you're working with that's not literally Splunk? Are there different aspects of things you do during the day or outside that you like to get hands-on with?
That is a good one. So right now, I would honestly say I've been so caught up in the platform that's been really fun, is actually being able to work. We have a team that is helping us build and design this thing, and getting involved with that has been a separate activity, which is really fun.
Cool. So kind of the building a large platform as a project that will something that will scale. I mean, y'all are having to manage, having 500,000 people at a time at an event. That's a lot of work. So I guess the point here is to reduce the amount of effort required. So figuring out, solutions to problems, automation.
And that's something that we're going to be working with, because right now for those lightning round episodes, we have to manually like turn them on, turn them off, like do all of that. So we're working with the design team for automating that stuff, and that's going to be really cool to see as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a really this is completely random, but I think it's really interesting, especially for someone with a psych background. I happened upon a headline recently that was proposing that, in our sort of natural animalistic way of always trying to automate things, because like as animals, for evolutionary reasons, it makes sense for us to have a desire to always do things with less effort,
right?
Each time, conserve energy. And so we've done a lot in terms of like reducing email by using things like Slack or
alert noise, all of that stuff.
Giving computers to everyone. And it was an interesting thing because it said, yet we still feel very stressed, even though we have all these things. And it went on to posit that perhaps it's because we've used the time that we freed up to take on other trivial things that we would have not normally done.
That's exactly what I was thinking as you were saying that we do have that, evolutionary like part of this where, we want to conserve energy, but for us, we're just on the go so much. Instead of conserving that energy, we're using that time to do more things and get more accomplished instead of conserving.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a drive for productivity, and not for the sake of productivity. It's for some outcome, right? And the outcome might be you want to spend more time on the beach or with your family or whatever, but it could be, getting so many more widgets out the door because you get more money or whatever the case may be.
Well, and it was even more deflating that it wasn't that we fill our time up with going to the beach and so forth. It was saying like even the CEO who back in the 50s might have been like, I just attend meetings and I'm a thought leader and I have staff that support me with email and setting up meetings. They're doing a lot of their own administrative work that they didn't used to, because the computers and the technology and the automation has really trivialized a lot of that.
Right.
So just random tangent. So we now to swing it all the way back, we have some rapid fire questions that we are trying to start to use.
Lightning round.
Would you like to play?
A lightning round? Okay. Can I skip?
Yeah, do pass, but then I'll come back around to it. Yeah. I hope you do at least one pass, just so we can
Okay, I will. Okay,
I'll sneak it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, set the fake timer for blah 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 seconds. Here we go. Lightning round. What's your favorite SPL command?
Oh, Jesus.
That is not a command.
I just checked.
Oh, Jesus would be the Irish religious one. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I will say, oh man. This is
okay. Let's use the pass right away.
Let's use the pass right away. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Your first conf.
My first conf was 2018, I think. 2018. Okay. Yeah.
Where was it?
Judges? That is correct.
Story checks out. We checked your LinkedIn.
It was Vegas. I wasn't allowed to go my first year here.
Okay.
Not every sales engineer gets to go.
There you go. Exactly.
Your favorite conf. I don't like saying favorite. How about a favorite?
I would say probably 2019, because that was the first time I was involved with Boss of the Knock. And that was a lot of fun.
Number of Splunk t-shirts that you have?
Oh,
ballpark.
Probably 5. Not that many.
Wow.
Okay. What about hoodies?
Yep.
Hoodies, including this one, 4. Also, not that bad.
Not that bad, yeah. All right, there was one question you passed on. Favorite Splunk command?
Oh, Jesus, you didn't give me time to even think about it. I was
gonna
give...
Oh, Jesus, is
here,
not...
I'm gonna... Again, here, I'm gonna actually give a...
We'll give you some
time.
Hey,
phone
Burch,
a friend?
what is your favorite?
No.
I mean, I can stall for you.
No, I'm trying to give a hint to the next boo competition for folks.
Ooh.
Are you working right now? Are you double timing us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Okay, I don't know. You go ahead, Burch.
Well, I'll go stats, because I used to love doing like dedupe, table, sort. And then when I discovered that stats allows you to do that in more of a map reduced way and so much faster, I mean, I learned, and you can do wildcards in stats, and it just becomes like a Swiss Army knife in terms of writing searches and cleaning up
and
fields.
Dedupe is it doesn't scale. It's you have to bring the set to the search head, and then there's a limit on the amount of memory, and then there might be a limit on number of events based on something that an admin set up. Stats is your friend.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right,
and
Jenna,
what
you look like you're ready.
Yours, Hal?
So she's not ready. I see. Rather than go with my favorite, I'm going to say that one that's interesting is stream stats. So it's related. It's related, but it's kind of for creating a delta of differences in the so creating stats. So creating aggregations. The output is a table, but it's a window of events that are streaming at a point in time. So you could specify the window, and you could say what the range is, or the delta between the greatest and least events, those kinds of things.
So I'm going to give, it's not that big of a bonus here, but it will show the integration that we do have with SIM and Splunk Core. So moving into the next boot, check for signal flow stuff going on, and then using the SIM command as well. So that's a little bit of a clue.
SIM?
SIM. Yes, for Splunk infrastructure monitoring.
So what you're saying is that this actually goes out. So you're sitting in Splunk. The search command will go out to SignalFX API.
Exactly.
Grab something. and then bring it
Exactly.
back in. Okay.
Yep. And so
have
you're going to
never
want to
touched that
look
one yet.
for, yeah. And then there's also some new blogs out about it as well. I believe Joel wrote one.
Joel Schoenberg.
Yeah, I believe
Joel.
there's one out for that as well. But you will use that in the Boo event.
Neat.
Yeah.
That is cool. And yes, people, we do have SIM for security.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yep.
SEI or IEM. Then we have common information model.
Yep.
And then we have SIM, SIM.
Yeah. We love acronyms and we love them to be very confusing. So yeah.
So if you're upset about that, SIM. Okay.
So I think that's about all the time we have today. We've gotten through a lot of stuff. And I was just particularly pleased that you came on and shared with us, Jenna.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I want to bookend this because I just realized that we started this episode by talking about some TV shows that before you joined that are too spooky scary. And then we spent a lot of time, mostly to me, talking about Boo, which is a word that is spooky scary.
Yeah, and that's our mascot, is a little ghost, a little bright pink and orange ghost.
Nice.
You must have made emotes or custom emoji on Discord, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, this was.
We have it on our internal
fabulous.
Slack too.
Oh, I know.
Oh, nice.
That's
yeah. All right.
Any last thoughts or comments?
No, this has been really great, and thanks for providing a platform for us to talk about all of the cool stuff that we're doing. This is great.
Happy to. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you for dropping by. Thanks for coming, and thanks for listening, everyone. This has been Splunk Talk, the Splunk podcast. That's all Splunk and no junk. Have a great day.